Josh McDaniels is a name that keeps popping up. We have another name, actually, thanks to Mark Daniels and others. And I'm going to butcher this. Get used to it. I'm going to butcher a lot of names here on the WEEI Afternoon Show.
Excellent intro, by the way.
Grant Udinsky?
I think it's Udinsky.
Udinsky, an assistant with Kevin O'Connell's Vikings, interviewed on Sunday for the open Patriots offensive coordinator job. I know a lot of people like the Kevin O'Connell tree, which is an offshoot of the Sean McVay tree, New Age.
Yep.
A lot of people look at Minnesota and say, wait a minute, he was really good last year. Then he brings in Sam Darnold. He's still really good up until the end when the wheels kind of fell off a little bit. So there's a lot of names out there for the offensive coordinator job. You heard Marcus Brady brought up by Rap Sheet. But there's also a name that I think millions and millions of people watched last night. He was in a booth for Ohio State. He was formerly the head coach at UCLA, did a weird transition where he's like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to call plays. He has local ties to the University of New Hampshire.
Coached in the NFL as well, if I'm not
Coached
mistaken.
in the NFL, but I'm talking about as an offensive guy.
Yes.
At one point was the hottest offensive commodity, maybe in all of football, for a time there. And Ted Johnson, you believe Chip Kelly should be the next offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots?
Look, I would seriously consider you guys, and the biggest reason is because I like the fact. Look, I think the college game is influencing the pro game now more than ever. It's trending that way, and so you see so many of these quarterbacks getting into the NFL, and these offensive coordinators in the NFL realizing, you know what, it's probably better and more beneficial for us to implement a lot of the concepts that these quarterbacks were using in college, just to kind of jumpstart our offense, to get them comfortable, and that. So you see a lot of concepts and philosophies from the college game really impacting the pro game. And so I see Drake Maye, shotgun, athletic, can run around. That is the modern day quarterback, and that is the modern day kind of college quarterback. And I wouldn't mind having a coach who's got experience in the college game. And Chip Kelly was Oregon from 09 to 2012.
Awesome.
UCLA last year. I mean, those Oregon offenses were
awesome.
He went to Philly to try and reinvent the wheel in the NFL game and turn it really on its head and run play after play after play. But that didn't work out. But the point is, nope. I think the college game is more influential in the pro game, especially with these quarterbacks that are coming into the league now. I just think you need a coach that has some background in the college game. Chip Kelly, I was just watching last night. You got his quarterbacks under center. He's in shotgun. He's in pistol. They ran the ball. They ran the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You look at
QB powers. They're doing all those,
which I wasn't expecting so much, especially with a big back like Henderson as well. But
you got to do what you got to do.
But
Judkins too.
Look at all the teams in the that are in the championship games. All the quarterbacks can run.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's one of the biggest trends that came out of the division weekend. Is just wow, the quarterback position is more different now than it's ever been because of the willingness and the ability to run the football. So it's, to me, Chip Kelly would. That's why I was kind of excited about the possibility of a Tommy Rees, who was at Cleveland, right? Worked with AVP, but he's got experience at Alabama, and where was he at before that? Ohio State, I think. And so he had college football background. So I was maybe thinking that they could get him. He's already been announced as offensive coordinator in Cleveland, so he's out. So I like the idea and the profile of a Chip Kelly, absolutely.
And I'll add one more layer of positivity because one of the things that so let me give you a little insight, though, into Patriots fans. I've been big on Twitter polls lately. Big on Twitter polls.
Did you do one today?
I did one today.
What do we got?
In fact,
there'll be a big poll every day.
Yep,
big poll.
I'm big poll guy. Patriots fans, who would you prefer as Drake Maye's next offensive coordinator in New England? And I gave them 3 names and other. So Chip Kelly, Josh McDaniels, and Nick Caley, who was the tight ends coach here, who interviewed last year, wanted a bunch of money, now went back to the Rams, so he's been with Sean McVay. Josh McDaniels got.
Can I guess first before you tell us?
Sure.
I'm gonna guess.
You didn't vote. It kind of hurts.
I have to get better.
He's got a lot going on.
This has been a crazy week. So give me the benefit of the doubt this time. I'll get on that, but I'm going to guess the 2 guys that the people are most familiar with, that's Josh McDaniels and Nick Caley, they probably got more votes than Chip Kelly did.
So your instincts are right. It is Josh McDaniels in a runaway. 61% Josh McDaniels.
It's only 61? Wow.
19% Nick Caley, 14% Chip Kelly, your guy, and then 6% got other, and we got interesting names that I can go through at some point. Maybe some people kind of wrote in names. But part of what I think people like about Josh McDaniels, well, other than, the success, and he was here with the dynasty and all that, is they feel like he's done being a head coach. Like he had his shots, he failed.
Well,
he's not going anywhere, right?
I think the NFL owners think the same thing.
I agree. And I think people are like, well, you can hire him as your offensive coordinator, and he can have success with Drake Maye, and he's not leaving next year. He's not leaving the year after. He can be here for a while. I think you can say the same thing about Chip Kelly. He had his fun in Philly. He didn't have much fun in San Francisco. And then he goes back to the college game at UCLA and decides, I don't want to do that with NIL and whatever's going on there. Goes to Ohio State to be a coordinator. I think if you bring Chip Kelly here and he has success with Drake Maye, and you're right, college quarterbacks, pro quarterbacks, they're kind of blending together, the offenses. Hell, Jaden Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury, they're in the NFC title game.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically a college coach with a college quarterback
that
are saying, no, we're NFL coach and quarterback now. We're winning. So you could bring in Chip Kelly, and I think, not to mention, he's got a house, I don't know, somewhere in New Hampshire. I know he has a home, like a nice place in New Hampshire.
It's a long ride.
He's but not on long weekends and the summer and all those things. I think if you bring Chip Kelly in, you can have success and not worry about losing. You bring Nick Caley in, and Nick Caley nails the hell out of the job. And I'm going to say I worked there for 20 years. If you got a problem with it, call me. If we are in the AFC Championship game next year, Nick Caley will be interviewing for head coaching jobs.
Let me
Nick
ask.
Caley will be gone.
Same with Cliff Kingsbury and potentially Kelly as well.
What kind of?
See, I don't think Chip Kelly would go anywhere. I think Chip Kelly's here to stay if he comes.
I mean, he's been jumping around though.
Yeah,
but
I think
maybe if he finally wants to settle down and call this home, then
New England boy.
I would love.
He's a little fickle.
I would love that. But Nick Caley, what is he? I mean, just because he comes from the Sean McVay tree. I mean, he was a tight ends coach there.
He was a tight ends coach.
When he was here. He was a tight ends coach.
Tight ends coach here. Then he was interviewed for the offensive coordinator job, didn't get it. Went to L.A., came back and interviewed under Mayo.
Yeah.
Stories
offered
I've
a lot
heard.
of money.
No, not offered enough money. They offered him money, and he asked
but I
for
thought he
north of $4.5 million as a first-time, never been a
But
coordinator.
wasn't that to get him, though, out of this comfort zone that he had learning under McVay? Because the longer you're there, the more shine you get put on you, correct?
Well, he'd only been there for
a year. 1 year.
Yeah.
Let me ask it to you this way.
I like Nick Caley. I need to
why though?
Tell you, just being around him for a few years, covering him, young guy.
It's a good dude.
Conversations on the record, conversations off the record.
Right.
I think he's a pretty good guy.
All right. I don't know. We get dangerous going down that road.
Scarnecchia liked him a lot too.
Scar liked him a lot.
Well, if Scar likes him, there you go. I would say everybody liked Gerard too. So I mean, I'd be careful about that. But let's look at it this way: what system is Nick Caley bringing? What system is Chip Kelly going to bring? Like it's the system. Is just as important as the coach. What system are they going to be bringing? Is Nick Caley bringing the Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan offense, which I love? It's the Denver Broncos back in the day.
Alex Gibbs
with Terrell Davis, Mike Shanahan, John Elway, and that was probably the toughest offenses we played. Not named Colts. So I'm a big fan of that system.
I'm still very sad about the phone call that Shannon Sharp made on the sideline.
Dude, but who got the last laugh on that one? Look, to me, it's more about systems. What system is Nick Kelly bringing? Chip Kelly, I think I understand his system, but I'm very intrigued with a Shanahan-type system here. I would not be, I wouldn't have any issues with that. To me, Chip Kelly's a more proven guy. I like his kind of his profile, where he's been, what he's seen, what he's experienced. I watched the offense last night for Ohio State, and I'm like, I like what I see there.
Oh, yeah.
So,
they also have great talent.
They do.
They got a $23 million roster. Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith in the planet.
But Jeremiah Smith is a Pro Bowl receiver already. It's not in the NFL
what
yet,
team
but he's a Pro
wouldn't
Bowl.
take it right now? You thought the kid Greathouse looked pretty excellent for Notre Dame in the latter part of the game as well. But Jeremiah Smith by far is. But see, you mentioned what kind of system is a Chip Kelly? What kind of system is Nick Caley going to bring in? Not that it's all about what will comfort the fans by any stretch, but at least in the devil that you know in Josh McDaniels, you know what sort of system he's going to be bringing in. And if anything, as you've mentioned previously, that he's updating it and he's evolving the system, then with Josh McDaniels, you get the game plan attack with the this sort of now hybridization of the Earhart, Perkins, Weiss, McDaniels, O'Brien offense that can be whatever it needs to be depending on the opponent. And I think that's to me the best way to go about offense.
I'll say, Fitzy, if you have Tom Brady as the quarterback, that's the dream scenario. Right. Is that you're a game plan offense that you can morph into something different every single week.